What is up, everybody? JoPaWrites here once again, and today I have another edition of the Writer's Thoughts. These air every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/JoPaWrites. If you missed that, the video will be up on youtube.com/JoPaWrites. Afterwards, thank you as always for liking, commenting, and subscribing, all that kind of good stuff. But I'm just going to jump into it. The first thing is some Borderlands news. Borderlands is getting a movie from Lionsgate Films. This is going to be directed by Eli Roth, which is very interesting. He's a big name director. So there's a lot going on behind this movie, which is very interesting because it's not one of the games or series that I would have anticipated a big budget movie being made for. It's a series I'm a big fan of as a fan of the looter shooter genre and also just the series in general, but it's going to be very difficult to translate the mature R-rated humor, blood and guts, all that kind of everything that makes the game and the series so great. I don't know how well that'll translate to the big screen, especially without something like a director who's done Deadpool, for example. That's the type of show or movie that would have, I think, followed suit very well with what's happening with Borderlands. Obviously with a different art and direction style as far as what the look is, because I think you're going to have to try to keep the same Borderlands kind of feel and appearance in there. So it's very interesting. I will 100% watch it regardless of how good it ends up being because I'm such a fan of the series. But I don't know how well it's going to translate to the mainstream audience, especially not knowing which characters they're going to use. Is it going to be based off of one of the games, or is it going to be a standalone event? So that's very interesting as well. I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing, but the fact that they announced the director now is very, very interesting because it shows that the movie is far enough along, because apparently this has been worked on for so long. It's been kind of teased for a period of time, but I think the success of some of the other video game adaptations, such as The Witcher, even though it's really based off the book, but also helped by the video game series, such as Sonic the Hedgehog's recent success. I think both of those lead to helping this kind of, just like when Marvel kind of got rid of the stigma associated with superhero movies, besides Superman and Batman, I think this has helped move those along for sure when it comes to video game movies. And hopefully we start seeing more video games pushed into other mediums, whether it's comic books, whether it's video games, or I'm sorry, whether it's movies or TV. Any of those would be great, I think, in my personal opinion. Then we have Borderlands 3 is actually getting their full second DLC announcement here up at PAX East, which is upcoming this week. Very interesting. PAX East always has a lot of attention, a lot of things happening, including this year, which was PlayStation was actually supposed to have a presence at the event, but because of the coronavirus, they've canceled all of that, which is unfortunate. They've also canceled their GDC event as well. They won't be going to that either. So it'll be interesting to see what they're announcing, what they're going to let people do to test some of their gameplay of their upcoming games, and if they're like such as demos, and if they're going to have further announcements that they were going to make at these events that they're going to have to do on one of their direct events that are coming up in the near future, because we know the PlayStation 5 should be revealed here in the near future as well. Then there's a leaked rumor about a Call of Duty Modern Warfare Battle Royale. Now the rumor is this is going to drop in March. It's going to be 200 players, and most importantly for them, it's going to be free to play. I thought Blackout in Black Ops 4 was not a bad BR. It was fine, if not a little slow. But I do think the combat was polished. There was a lot of things that they did right. The biggest problem with that game is that you had to have Call of Duty to play it. Now, with so many of the other BRs being free to play, such as Apex Legends, Fortnite, Realm Royale, whatever the case may be, that made the barrier for entry a little bit higher when it comes to the Call of Duty BR. And I think it limited how successful it could be. Now, using the Modern Warfare gun play, some of the different skills and the abilities and weapons and armor and all that kind of stuff, and translating that to a free-to-play battle royale, I think is something that could be very, very successful if it's a good one. We never know. You don't know how it's going to be until people get their hands on it. But I'm very excited, and it's definitely something that I'm looking forward to at least trying out, because if the rumors are true, if all of this is coming to pass, I think that's going to be something of a game changer with regards to, especially on console, because there's not a lot of realistic type BRs that are doing very well. PUBG on console isn't super successful, so that'll be interesting, I think, for me to watch personally. As a big fan of Apex Legends and those games like that. So we also had Baldur's Gate 3. Now, as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons growing up, as a fan of Baldur's Gate games when I was younger, and even the remasters that just came out not too long ago, seeing that the third one is actually going to be released and is getting a new trailer and new information soon has me very excited, because I think there's a series that paved the way for certain RPGs that we see these days. And so that team, some of the people that have worked on it in the past and are coming back to work on that now, I think that's very exciting news. I am hyped for it because I can't wait to at least get a glimpse of it. It's something that I think a lot of these RPGs are going to more of an action RPG base, which is great. I think I like that a lot with regards to games like Dragon Age and such. But I do like the variety of seeing older, kind of not quite turn-based, but that type of game coming back. And I hope that there's more of those games coming out in the near future as well. So that way we have a nice variety. And it's not just all the games see one successful and they all follow suit and just all do the same thing. Now, we had Fortnite, new season just started. One of the interesting things with that is Deadpool was heavily featured in the trailer and also in the battle pass as a hidden node within Fortnite, which is very interesting because we don't know exactly what we'll be getting with regards to Deadpool. But as a huge Deadpool fan myself, I'm even wearing a Deadpool shirt currently. I'm very excited to see that. I've not been the hugest Fortnite fan. I play it with my family from time to time, but I'm not a hardcore Fortnite player. But some of their events that they do, whenever they get the hype going for a new season, it's very impressive to watch, and they definitely know how to do marketing right. Does that always translate to gameplay? No, not so much. But I'm glad to see Deadpool in there, and I will definitely try and check out to see what that entails, whether it'll be a limited time mode, whether it just be skins, whatever the case may be. So I'm excited to see what that has to offer in the near future. Then we had some very interesting news. Diablo 3 is getting an anime on Netflix, and there's work on a Overwatch cartoon, also potentially Netflix, but we don't know that for sure as of yet. Now, I'm a fan of the Diablo series. I just got into it fairly recently. That being said, it is a super fun game, but the lore, the stories, everything like that is very, very good. I'm a huge fan of that and just the characters in that game. So if they do it like Castlevania, for example, which is on Netflix currently, in that kind of style, I think the anime could be fantastic, and I'm very, very excited about that. The Overwatch cartoon I'm less excited about because I'm not as familiar with Overwatch personally. I haven't played that a lot. However, I can see a lot of people really getting behind it. And this is what I was talking about earlier with these games getting into other mediums and that being very exciting because I think we'll be able to see more of the lore, more of the story, more of the world than we've ever been able to see before. And that's awesome. And hopefully they're not like some of these shows and movies that have come out in the past that are just kind of like, well, let's use this property's name that's already established and capitalize on that without putting a whole lot of effort in. We've seen it from The Witcher, though. If you actually put known actors, if you have quality people and production value and all that kind of good stuff, they could make a lot of money and be very successful. So I'm very excited about that because I want to see more of these games get expanded universes and a little bit more information, other mediums, because I feel like you can tell different stories from one to the other, which I like a lot. I'm a big fan of reading books that have games or movies or TV shows associated with them. Game of Thrones, for example, Lord of the Rings. So more of that is definitely something I want to see in the future. But we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, these other iterations are also successful, so that way they continue to come out and they don't get stopped short like some other things have done. The last thing we're going to talk about is the Ninja uh, just a game controversy that was popular on the internet recently. Now, love him or hating, Ninja has been probably the most influential gamer on mainstream culture with regards to Twitch and streaming and crossover. He's done things like Masked Singer. He's gone to NBA All-Star Game. He's definitely changed the game with regards to bringing streaming and gaming to a wider audience. That being said, he tends to be mired in controversy. Now, this is bound to happen when someone's at the top of the mountain. There are always going to be people trying to bring them down. Me personally, I normally see him as a trailblazer more than anything. Although in this particular case, I think his phrasing was pretty bad. I understand where he's coming from, insofar as like everyone just tells him it's just a game all the time, when this has been what his career is since he was a kid, since he was a teenager. So it's hard for him to look at it as just a game. I do wonder, because of his phrasing and because he's got such a wide young audience, how that translates to getting people to rage a little bit too much. And he kind of tells people to get angry. And I think, like I said, the wording on it was just not great. I've seen him talk about it in ways that it's like, it makes sense, right? If gaming is your job, it's not just a game anymore. It's your profession. It's your career. And it's something that no matter what anyone can say, you put a lot more into that than people would ever give you credit for just playing a game. So I understand his frustration. I understand why he would say it like that. Again, I think he just worded it very poorly. He was probably upset or angry at the time. And when you have that many followers, it's not like you can just delete that tweet because it's been captured. It'll be there. Everyone's going to comment on it. I do think people dunking on him sometimes can be for their own benefit, which that's what's going to happen too. If you're at the top, people will try to bring you down and use your words against you as much as possible, which is very frustrating for me. I just imagine like if you were at the top as an individual and having all these people kind of gunning for you would be very disappointing, very upsetting. That being said, again, I do believe he worded his words wrong, even though the hate mob against him might be a little bit unjustified, because I understand where he's coming from, if not so much how he said it. So that's all for me today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks as always for stopping by the channel. Make sure to like and subscribe for future content, and I will catch you guys later.